Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the Pop Sockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Trump tariffs live. U.S. recession fears spike as UK braces for Liberation Day impact. Live. April 2 will be Liberation Day, according to U.S. President Donald Trump, when his tariffs placed on all of America's trading partners come into effect. Washington's radical protectionist move creates a real risk of recession for the U.S. economy, according to Douglas Holtz-Eakin, a former White House official under George W. Bush. As the Wednesday deadline looms, the UK will reserve the right to respond to tariffs in a way that does protect British industry, Downing Street said. Nevertheless, the UK expects to feel the force of the levies this week, with negotiations expected to stretch past the deadline. Sir Keir Starmer's official spokesman said on Monday, "When it comes to tariffs, the Prime Minister has been clear he will always act in the national interest, and we've been actively preparing for all eventualities ahead of the expected announcements from President Trump this week, which we would expect the UK to be impacted by alongside other countries. Our trade teams are continuing to have constructive discussions to agree a UK-US economic prosperity deal. But we will only do a deal which reflects this government's mandate to deliver economic stability for the British people, and we will only act in the national interest." Scroll down for our live coverage. Kellyanne Shaw, a former trade advisor to Donald Trump, has said the UK has a decent chance of avoiding tariffs if the US president takes a more targeted approach with them. She told BBC Radio 4's Today program, "What I would say is, it's not clear that any country is going to get an exemption." And what has been interesting is that over the past 48 hours, there have been a number of reports in Washington that the president is considering potentially going back to this concept of a universal baseline tariff that would apply to all countries. Now, while he's pending final decision, assuming he moves forward with a plan to be more targeted, which was floated the last 2 weeks by many of his senior advisors, I do think that the UK has a decent chance. They've got a trade surplus with the United States, relatively balanced trade, and the two leaders seem to be off to a good start. Sir Ed Davey urged the government to be tough with Donald Trump. Repeating his call for the government to impose tariffs on Tesla vehicles, Sir Ed added, "I haven't read the whole of it because it was so awful, but he's written a book called The Art of the Deal. I got mine secondhand. I'd like to say, I don't want to put money in his pocket." But in The Art of the Deal, he talks about if the other guy looks desperate or weak, he's going to walk all over you. So I think if you're dealing with Donald Trump, you've got to realize who you're dealing with. He's not an ordinary American president where we can be friends and trust and have that great relationship we've had with so many American presidents, of all political parties, Republicans and Democrats. He's not that sort of person. I think we've got to be tough with him. The U.S. president has announced a 25% import tax will be introduced on all cars imported to the U.S., a measure expected to hit British luxury car makers such as Rolls-Royce and Aston Martin. The levy is on top of a series of tariffs set to come into effect on April 2, which could include a general 20% tax on UK products in response to the rate of VAT. On February 10, the U.S. president signed a proclamation that introduced a 25% tariff on steel and aluminium imports from multiple states, including the UK. President Trump's tariffs are due to come into effect on April 2. Stay tuned for explainers on what this could mean for your business, the latest reaction from firms across the UK, and developments from Downing Street, Washington, and other global capitals. We use your sign-up to provide content in ways you've consented to and to improve our understanding of you. This may include adverts from us and third parties based on our understanding. You can unsubscribe at any time. Read our privacy policy.